We're back on Press Row, and our thoughts turn to Blake Griffin, who is living the L.A. life this weekend. He's scheduled to drop in on Jimmy Kimmel Friday night, then work out for the Clippers on Saturday. Guys, at which venue is Blake most likely to make a splash?
Courtside, not in the studio. I mean, he's a pleasant enough guy, but no, talk shows, it's not Blake. Blake's better on the court.
It'll be interesting, though, to see what happens with the Jimmy Kimmel Show. This is actually news that Blake is reporting himself on his Twitter account. I happened to bump into it as I was doing some web surfing today, and he says he's going to the Kimmel Show. He's not on the announced list of guests, so I assume there's some sort of skit or something short that he's going to be on. But Blake, we've heard through the grapevine that he does have a comedic sort of funny side to him. I don't know if he's going to be doing stand-up anytime soon, but it's going to be interesting, I think, to see what he does tonight at the Kimmel Show.
If he takes that approach and he dunks over Jimmy Kimmel, maybe I stand corrected. But he does have that side from what I hear, yeah.
Now, last weekend at the NBA Combine, didn't seem to do much. Didn't take a part in a lot of the drills, just got measured and those things. What are you expecting to do for the Clippers? I mean, do you think he'll work out, or is he just going to go in and chat?
I think he's going to work out pretty hard. And there were certain things he didn't do at the Combine, and 4 other guys followed suit. And NBA's really struggling how to get a fair gauge of all the talent, 1 through 30 or 40, and not just 10 through the rest. But I heard he bench pressed 185 pounds 22 times. Which is 22 times more than Kevin Durant, but Durant turned out okay. And his wingspan was a little over 7 foot. His height was 6'8.5". So we saw those raw numbers we were kind of curious about. But you know what? Blake is so much better when you see him up close. I don't think he'll have to do much or say much. I think they'll just go, wow.
Yeah, and you mentioned the numbers of the bench press. I saw something that they were comparing Amari Stoudemire, Blake, and Dwight Howard was the other guy they were looking at with some numbers from that combine. And some things that they do now, they didn't do then, but you mentioned the 22. I believe Amari bench pressed that same weight 15 times. Dwight Howard, who we all know looks like a cartoon character now, did the bench press 7 times. Of course, he was coming out of high school, so he's a little different specimen, but we know what he is now as an NBA player. It just makes you go, oh my gosh, what could Blake Griffin become? I don't know if the Clippers are still doubting who they want, but I think Blake Griffin's preparing himself to go in there and show them that he's what they want. And I think he looks at this as his only job interview for the NBA, and he wants to make the most of it. He's been working out basically since about a week after he made his announcement. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to go in there and do basically whatever they want and probably blow them away with everything.
We're a week closer to the NBA draft. Any scuttlebutt out there in the last week about potential trades or jerry-rigging with the draft or anything along those lines?
The only thing, everybody's just trying to figure out what Ricky Rubio can do and will do. He's got a huge buyout. But, Barry, people don't realize the buyout becomes even larger next year. So if he goes back, it's not like it solves a problem. He got it again the following year. The more I read, the more I think the Grizzlies will take Rubio, and that'll leave to beat for the Thunder. And I don't know. I mean, the Thunder is a project in the works, Jenny, and he'd certainly be an added project.
Yeah, and there's been some interesting talk too that maybe James Harden or DeRozan from USC or some guys that
Jordan Hill,
or maybe some other guys that the Thunder are interested in. I've also heard a little bit that maybe the Grizzlies might consider trading down if they don't think Rubio or the Beat are their guys. Which does that mean the Thunder could maybe could be that 2 spot and move up and maybe have a little more trading power with the Clippers if they wanted? I don't know. I think, in my mind, I don't think we're going to see any of this talk actually come to fruition before draft night. That would be the only time I think you'd actually see something happen. I don't think you're going to see anybody make any moves. I'd be shocked if there were any moves before draft night, and then we could just see a flurry of them, Barry.
Well, stay tuned further on newsok.com as well as every day in the Oklahoman for continual NBA coverage.
You could see it.